Coming up on Point News, dangerous temperatures can have long-lasting health risks on commuters.
A new eating disorder is sweeping the nation. Find out what signs you should look for to help save someone's life.
And their government could be headed for another shutdown starting tomorrow. Point News starts now.
Live from the Point Park University Broadcast Center in downtown Pittsburgh, this is Point News.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Point News. I'm Noah Strackbein.
And I'm Nick Berlansky.
Cold weather has been sweeping the nation. Point News reporter Marley Pinchak investigates the health risks from it.
Pittsburgh has been experiencing below freezing temperatures that impose major health risks for college commuters. As the weather gets increasingly more intense, it's important to recognize these health risks and learn what you can do to stay safe. UPMC emergency physician Dr. Jeremiah Escajeda provides detail on these health risks.
The biggest risk is frostbite, which we all hear about, and frostbite really is irreversible damage to tissue, and it can be anywhere from, when it's below freezing to taking upwards of 30 minutes, or sometimes even as, short as 5 minutes or less. Hypothermia takes a while to set in, and it affects every organ of your body.
According to Pittsburgh Port Authority Transportation, every time there are road conditions due to weather, such as ice, Port Authority will post a delay update on their Twitter page to notify passengers. While these delays typically range between 15 to 30 minutes, this extra wait time in the cold can be very dangerous to college commuters if the necessary precaution is not being taken. According to Point Park's 2018 Fact Book, 3,058 out of 4,099 students are commuters. Dean of Students Keith Palo explains why this commuter group plays such a significant role when deciding to shut down the university due to weather conditions.
Especially when you're looking at a commuter population who might be standing outside for a long period of time. We look at public transportation. Is that causing then maybe students to stand out longer than they normally would?
According to the Allegheny County Health Department's website, you should be wearing several layers of loose-fitting warm clothing, as well as a hat, gloves, and a scarf to protect your lungs. Reporting from Point Park University in downtown Pittsburgh, I'm Marley Pinchak for Point News.
It looks like we're going to have some spring-like temperatures this weekend, but they won't last long. The weather today will be a high of 48 degrees with cloud coverage all day. Tonight's low will be 42 degrees, so not too bad out there today. It's starting to feel like spring, but this weekend dips right back down into the cold. On Friday, there will be a high of 44 degrees with rain on your morning commute, and after rush hour, the temperature drops to 25 degrees. Saturday and Sunday will both have highs of 35 degrees and lows in the 20s. Sunday is going to be a mix of precipitation, starting with rain around lunchtime and ending with snow into the overnight, making Monday's morning commute a little slick.
The university is down to its final 3 candidates in selecting a dean for the School of Communications. According to the chair of the search committee, Robin Chekala, the process began in September as one part of an overarching strategic plan for the School of Communications. Chekala said the position would focus on fundraising for the school, growing its programs, and working to create partnerships. Some communication students attended forums to meet and provide feedback for each candidate. The new hire is decided by the provost. However, their exact starting date is dependent on who is chosen.
Point Park's Campus Activities Board, or CAB, is known for planning and implementing a variety of social and educational events for the students throughout the semester. Last Tuesday, CAB held a College to Career event on the second floor of Lawrence Hall. They invited Point Park students to meet and network with professionals in their field, as well as work on interview skills, and make improvements to their resume. The event also included a Most Creative Business Card contest, where those who had the top 3 designs won 50 real customized business cards based off their original idea.
College to Career, it is a CAB event. At this event, we are looking to get students more interested and involved in the interview process and get them more comfortable with it. Also, they can get their resumes looked at so they can be ready for the career fair on Thursday.
College to Career was held just 2 days in advance of Point Park's annual internship and job fair to prepare students to meet with possible future employers.
After the break, find out how you can reduce your risk of heart disease.
And later find out which Pittsburgh Steeler might be on his way out. We'll be right back.
All right, we're ready.
Oh, no. You are right here.
Is the wind really necessary, guys? We need the wind. Okay.
You go take awful. You. That's awful.
Okay, I need someone to make me laugh.
Where's Wyatt? Wyatt's always late, duh.
I'm here. Jealous?
Get out of my way.
Stop.
Cool. Okay. And now we're smiling. There's a lot of noise going on.
A lot of noise. 3, 2, 1.
Here at the Pioneer sideline.
We covered the real sports.
On another season, the Penguins are just getting started with the regular season this week. Pioneer sideline.
The show that starts your Friday mornings has returned with both familiar and new faces. Daybreak host Taylor Fife and Delaney Bomas are bringing you the latest updates in Pittsburgh and Point Park news. We also have a variety of talent on our free segments. Whether it be singing, dancing, or indeed egg smashing. Start your mornings with us at Daybreak on UView at UView Television.
Welcome back. February is National Eating Disorder Month, and Point News reporter Sarah Yobi investigated a new disorder.
According to the National Eating Disorder Association, or NEDA, orthorexia nervosa has been acknowledged and on the rise since 1998, yet it is still not recognized in the Diagnostic and Statistic Manual. NEDA defines orthorexia as an obsession with proper or healthful eating. February is National Eating Disorder Awareness Month. In light of this, I spoke with Anita Sinnecrote Mayer, an eating disorder therapist in Pittsburgh.
And it was describing people who are very obsessed with eating what they believe is healthy, clean food.
So some common indications of eating disorders or malnutrition is going to be someone who has a lot of food aversions, irrational food beliefs. You would see dichotomous thinking surrounded by food choices, such as food being considered bad or good. Unusual or ritualistic food behaviors. So, for example, someone might eat a food using a utensil that you normally wouldn't use to eat that particular food.
The obsession of healthy food that comes along with orthorexia nervosa can largely impact somebody's life, such as ruining relationships or even social gatherings for someone.
So an orthorexic kind of develops their own belief system about that food. And what we know can happen is they can develop malnutrition and wind up losing weight. And when they lose weight, it's very easy to move into anorexia nervosa.
NEDA identifies symptoms and warning signs of orthorexia as compulsive checking of ingredient lists and nutrition labels, cutting out large food groups such as carbs, sugar, or dairy.
So someone that should go into recovery or treatment for an eating disorder, there's several levels of care. Typically, the most common you would see are outpatient, intensive outpatient, or what they call day treatment, and then inpatient or residential.
While orthorexia is still a relatively new eating disorder, therapists and specialists recognize it and are working hard to find possible treatment and other medical options. I'm Sarah Yobi at the Point Cafe for Point News.
On February 11th, Mayor Bill Peduto kicked off Random Acts of Kindness Week in Pittsburgh in honor of 2 victims of the Tree of Life Synagogue shooting. The week is sponsored by the city and Achieva, which ran the senior home brothers David and Cecil Rosenthal were a part of for about 20 years, according to Director of Communications at Achieva, Lisa Raza. The week kicked off with a breakfast for those affected by the shooting. Each day of the week has a different theme, including service, invest, engage, honor, donate, act, and love.
February is also National Heart Awareness Month. Point News reporter Matt Morantes explains the connection between heart disease and obesity.
February is National Heart Month and is in place to spread awareness about heart disease and obesity within our youths. While the physicalities of the diseases are important, the mental features such as stress and overeating are also equally important and need to be observed as well. According to a new and developing study in 2017 by stateofobesity.org, Pennsylvania ranks 14th amongst all states for rates of obesity within 10 to 17-year-olds. The rate is even higher, with an alarming jump from 15% at ages 18 to 25 to 31% at ages 26 to 44. Sarah Macon is a licensed professional counselor who believes that the first step in battling obesity and heart disease is having a clean mental palate and healthy conscience.
The awareness of mental health is really important for college-age students in Pittsburgh, because if someone in college is not actively taking steps to practice preventative mental health and stress management measures, they're going to have a much more challenging time, and it's going to affect their overall happiness levels, their stress levels, and their academic performance.
The mental aspects of obesity and heart disease can be directly linked to how much stress you have in your life. For youth and teens, it is more vital than ever to have awareness and understanding about the incoming dangers of heart disease and obesity. While he was always busy, during the month of February there is always an extra hustle around the halls. Eric Bertha is taking extra precaution this month to inform more people about just how important heart health can be within a community and what steps are needed to ensure a safer heart.
How important is it for college-age people in Pittsburgh to have an awareness of their mental and physical health? I think it's vital. Frequently people don't know how closely tied physical awareness and mental health are.
From the heart to the head, all types of health is important. Remember that February is specifically for the heart, but it doesn't have to stop there. From beautiful sunny downtown Pittsburgh, I'm Matthew Ryan Maramontes with Point Park News.
After the break, find out who showed up in boots to Pirate Spring Training. We'll be right back.
I know just the trick. Bippity, boppity, boop. Much better. Guys, Samir Nefty, and I'm outside of the Benedum Center right now. So in just a few moments, we're going to go inside the Benedum Center to talk to Trevor Dion Nicholas, who plays the genie in Disney's Aladdin. I'm Samir Nefty giving you the theatrical scoop for the Berg. Hey guys, so now inside the Benedum Center with Trevor Dion Nicholas, who plays the genie in Disney's Aladdin.
Welcome back. The saga involving Pittsburgh Steelers receiver Antonio Brown heated up again this week as the football star officially requested a trade from the franchise on Tuesday morning. This coming just hours after he failed to appear in court for a speeding violation that occurred during the season. Brown took to Twitter to say, quote, "Thank you, Steeler Nation, for a big 9 years. Time to move on and move forward." The Steelers have yet to comment on the trade request. If he is traded, the Steelers will have to allocate over $21 million in dead cap space for Brown's contract.
The Pittsburgh Pirates kicked off their 2019 spring training by bringing in a new player. Country music legend Garth Brooks has joined the team and will be practicing with them for the next week. This is in celebration of the 20th anniversary of the Garth Brooks Teams for Kids Foundation. The foundation has worked with over 4,000 athletes to help give children a fair start in life. Brooks, a lifelong Pirates fan, started the foundation following the death of former Pirates outfielder Roberto Clemente. The Pirates are the fourth team to host Brooks at spring training and the first to do so since the Kansas City Royals in 2004.
New year, new me? Find out how Point Park students are making their New Year's resolutions last.
And could the government be headed for another partial shutdown? Find out more after the break.
The United Student Government at Point Park University, working since the 1970s to solve the issues that matter to you. What concerns do you have about the university? Student life, safety, food service. Send us an email to studentconcerns@pointpark.edu or stop by our office on the 7th floor of the Student Center. You can also attend our weekly open meetings on Mondays at 3:15. Follow us on social media at USG_PPU for more. The United Student Government. By the students. For the students.
The Point Park Sports Network, bringing you live coverage of Pioneer Athletics on Stretch Internet, the home of the River States Conference and the NAIA. Subscribe today for complete access to the Point Park volleyball, baseball, basketball, and soccer teams. Watch live and on-demand broadcasts, and don't miss a minute of Point Park Athletics. Head to pointparksports.com/live for broadcast listings. The Point Park Sports Network, your streaming home for Point Park Athletics.
3, 2, 1. Please visit our website. Please, it's a nice website. Please visit our website. Please.
If you have ever watched television, whether accidentally or on purpose, YouView is for you.
Welcome back. Artificial intelligence is growing in today's education world. Point News reporter Garrett Bahina has the story.
Technology and education are combining now more than ever before. The impact that technology has on students is rapidly shifting as well. Now, artificial intelligence and the rise of more enhanced teaching and learning methods is changing the forefront of the learning process. Students are glued to their technology, studying for exams and working on class projects. But there is an invisible force that may be changing the way college students take in the learning experience. Artificial intelligence is becoming a commonplace term among classrooms. AI is used to describe how computer systems are able to perform tasks that normally require human intelligence. Jeffrey Seaman, a professor in the Roland School of Business, explained how one type of artificial intelligence is now aiding students in the classroom.
There's a program called Civitas. What it does is it observes their intelligence, how they answer questions, and it's an artificial intelligence that figures out what their strengths are and their weaknesses are.
Professor Seaman says that Point Park is slowly starting to move into the realm of using AI, but it may take a little longer before the school and other universities can confidently deploy these programs.
I think I think a lot of people are trying to get ramped up to be in that position. I don't think most universities are right where they need to be, but the technology here, what we bring at the university is we're trying to keep cutting edge technology provided to students.
According to a market research report by Technavio, artificial intelligence in U.S. education is expected to grow at a rate of almost 48% between 2018 and 2022. For Point News, I'm Garrett Bahana.
Congressional leaders are urging President Donald Trump this week to agree on a bipartisan deal on border security in order to prevent another partial government shutdown. The president stated yesterday that he would not like to see another shutdown, hinting that he is going to consider signing the new bill. The compromising legislation includes only $1.3 billion for the new fencing along the southern border, significantly less than the $5.7 billion President Trump demanded last December, prompting the longest government shutdown in U.S. history.
Many students set goals for themselves at the start of every year, but many struggle to keep them. Point News reporter Megan Masiosi explains how students are sticking to their resolutions.
Year, new me. According to Business Insider, 80% of people break their New Year's resolutions by February. But Campus Activities Boards on Point Park's campus is here to help students reach their goals, starting with a free water bottle.
The Special Events Board held a press restart event in Lawrence Hall to help students feel motivated in the new year.
I was having a hard time figuring out what we were going to do at the beginning of the year, just because it's kind of hard to get students excited about coming back to school and everything. And I was like, well, why not have an event where we can hand out free water bottles? We can have a nice person from a healthy restaurant here, and people can write their New Year's resolutions and make poster boards.
Core Life Eatery was in attendance with fresh salads, beet juice, and plenty of healthy eating tips. Students could also grab a mini cookbook that had healthy meals that they could make for under $10.
There's recipe cards on the table, so if somebody's wanting to start healthy eating life, they can look at those recipes. They're super easy. I made them 5 ingredients or less, really inexpensive. kind of made like imitations of like an oatmeal cookie. We did like an oatmeal power ball, and then like for like lunch, instead of doing like a wrap or like a big like burger, we're gonna do a wrap and like a sandwich and make it like super clean.
Students could create their own vision boards to help keep track of their goals or for a little inspiration.
I have a vision board, and I don't know if that's really tracking, but I feel like you can kind of like make it to however you want. If you want to like put like the days I went to the gym, like check marks or like tallies.
In order to receive one of the water bottles, students had to write what they love about themselves and remember it every day.
According to the University of Minnesota's behavioral expert, Kathleen Voss, resolutions work best when incorporated into a daily routine. Reporting for Point News from Lawrence Hall, I'm Megan Macias.
That's all for this week. Thank you for watching.
Point News will be back next Thursday at 2 p.m. Have a great week, Pioneers.